What's up guys, Anders here with another video. Today we're going to go and talk about the Maehwa class rework on test server. I'm going to have the other class rework videos out on the channel if you're interested in what is happening with those classes. Now for this video, we're going to take a look at the Succession and Awakening Maehwa. I'm going to give you the gist of what you can expect from Maehwa's first couple of weeks of changes, but remember, nothing is final till all rework balancing and rebalancing is done after the month of November, so if something is seemingly undertuned or overtuned, we may see changes in the future before they go live. I'm going to start with pre-awakened skills and changes to Succession Maehwa and give you my impressions on the changes. Now when using Chase, you no longer get the falling animation from the first dash. Retaliation will no longer activate automatically while blocking. Super Armor will now correctly apply at the end of the Chase animation, and Chase will no longer be affected by movement speed increases or decreases. Stub Arrow can no longer be quick slotted. It can no longer be used on cooldown. After you use the skill inputs, a buff will appear that will last for 60 seconds. After that, when you use the skill again, you can fire up to the number of arrows you have. This means the cooldown will only apply after you fire the last arrow. Every time you fire stub arrows, the number of arrows available to you will decrease. After you use stub arrow, you can hold W or SRMB to use Chase. Stub arrow double shot is now a passive. It will now increase the number of arrows you can create, and stub arrow triple shot has been deleted. Stub arrow evasive shot and charge stub arrow evasion now have increased stamina cost. Stub arrow evasive shot can only be used if you have the stub arrow buff active. The cooldown is now 12 seconds. Charge stub arrow will not shoot immediately, and the type of damage has been changed from a projectile to penetrating damage. You can no longer move while using the skill, but it will link more smoothly with other skills. Arrow grapple has damage adjusted, now has a stun CC on good hits, and can be used even after unsuccessful stub arrow attacks. You can now link into the kicks after using the arrow grapple. You can also link arrow grapple after backstab slash or succession stigma. Whirlwind Cunt has damage adjusted and range has increased. The ultimate version no longer has stiffness CC on good hits and will now apply damage from Chaos Red Moon. Cyclone is now a passive that adds more damage to the skill, and Grinder has been deleted and incorporated into the base skill. Chaos Red Moon has greater range, with the last hit now being an AoE attack around your character. Ascension to Heaven will now change the animation speed of Chaos Red Moon and will make Chaos Red Moon no longer CC. Carver now has greater movement distance and will now attack and trigger the skill immediately upon use. The knockdown has been removed and replaced with down smash. Typhoon no longer has additional willpower percentage damage. Backstab is now a 20-second cooldown, has increased animation speed. The stun CC has been removed, and the knockback CC has also been removed. Chaos Red Moon Rebomb can now be activated with LMB after Red Moon and is now on a 15-second cooldown with down attack and down smash. You can now link Blooming and Succession Sticky Snowflake after using this Rebomb. When using Roundhouse Kick and Sweep Kick, Blind Thrust will now activate. In Succession, Red Blade will no longer give AP buff or accuracy buff when using Divider and Dragon Bite with 1 or 2 pedals. You will now get these buffs when you enter the Red Blade state. When using Decapitation in the Red Blade form, you can refresh the Red Blade buff and maintain the state for longer. This will also renew your AP and accuracy buffs. Dragon Bite will no longer have a Red Blade version. Instead, the effect has been moved to Divider. Maehwa's Will can no longer be used from the hotbar. You can now cancel the Red Blade state when you use Maehwa's Will. It will recover HP instead of mana if used this way. There is now a Succession version of Maehwa's Will that will have its cooldown reset when entering Red Blade form. Whirlwind Cut now has super armor duration lasting 0.4 seconds longer. Attack range has increased when acquiring Cyclone. Grinder has been removed, and the effect of DP minus 20 has been added to the base skill. Blind Thrust no longer has additional hits that trigger when using the spacebar or RMB, and the range is now the same as if you were to use it with a forward backstab motion. Dragon Bite stamina consumption is now lower when used in Tiger Blade form. Decapitation normal damage is now the same as the extra hit damage. It no longer has reduced hits in PvP, but PvP damage has been adjusted to compensate. Damage reduction when used on cooldown has been lessened, so it will do more damage when spammed. Super Armor has been changed to apply even when only extra hits are applied in Red Blade form. The stun CC will not apply in Red Blade form. Animation speed has also increased when using the skill in the Red Blade form. Carver now has greater attack range. Speed attack is removed. Air attack will now apply to all the hits. DP debuff is now a minus 20 debuff and will no longer have floating CC in the Red Blade form. Divider HP recovery no longer works on cooldown, but to compensate, the amount of HP recovered normally has increased. Attack Attack range has increased when using the skill in Red Blade form, and knockback CC has been removed. Red Moon now has a 7-second cooldown. Attack range has increased so that all hits are applied. Blooming no longer has a starting animation. Because of this, it will no longer have that iframe at the start. Animation speed has increased and it can now link with other skills after use. Charge Stub Arrow now has a 4-second cooldown, no longer has debuffs on good hits. Knockback CC is now a stun CC. Bleeding has been added to good hits. Sticky Snowflake can be used by holding LMB after decapitation. Its range is now the same for all hits, increasing it overall. And now for Awakening, Oppression has greater range and the cooldown has been reduced to 9 seconds. December has been removed and integrated into the Petal Drill skill. Petal Drill now has a 5-second cooldown at rank 3. All DP reduction is now -20 and the skill can now be linked with Moonlight Dash. If your target is right in front of you, the skill will attack immediately. Moonrise has the first hit removed. The mana recovery is now on all good hits. Super Armor is applied when using the Bond version of the skill. The third hit range has increased and it can now be linked after Tip of an Iceberg. It now has also more damage and has attack speed buff. Reverse Scale has had their attack speed buff deleted to compensate. Sticky Snowflake now applies debuffs on all 10 targets. Crit rate no longer applies in PvP, and the BSR version now has the same range as the normal skill. Frost Pillars now has greater attack range. Crit rate is now 30% and damage has been adjusted. Tip of an Iceberg now has greater attack range. Cooldown is 7 seconds and you can now link it with Petal Bloom and Stigma. Petal Bloom now has faster charging speed and damage has been adjusted. The range of the attack is now greater if fully charged. Sleet Step buff is now a DP increase instead of crit rate increase. You also now move farther when using the skill. Stigma now moves you farther back and now has greater attack range to compensate. You can also link Moonlight Dash after using that skill. Frost Flower now has knockdown on extra hits. AP buff is now +20 and can now be linked with other skills like Stigma from the second hit. Cloud Stab now has a 9-second cooldown and can no longer be linked with Stigma. Moonlight Dash now has greater attack range, and Chase and Awakening now has greater iframe duration by 0.2 seconds and now moves you farther per use in Awakening Chase. And that's the Maehwa rework. If you want to see all the new skills in action, I'll have the raw clips at the end so you can see how they look like on their own. And that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think about today's video in the comments or over on our community Discord. We're now public and accepting new members, so follow that link, react to the comments to get your member role, and say hello. If you want to support the videos I make in small donations, you can follow the Ko-fi link below and buy me a cup of coffee. I love coffee as much as I love Bell, so every coffee you buy me will be greatly appreciated and will of course come with some Discord perks. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to get notified when I upload my next video. Remember, Bell is good. As always, guys, thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.